Hi everyone. Sorry I'm later than usual. I've been watching a film with the family and we had tea a bit later. The film went on a bit later, so it knocked me backwards as well. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you've all had a really good week. Mine's not been too bad, except for of where I am near Wiz Beach. That storm, whatever it was that come from the Caribbean, the high winds, they've hit me on Thursday and Friday, so I couldn't work. So I've lost 2 days' work. But it's not too bad. I'll talk about it for today's live. That's what gave me the idea to talk about for the subject anyway for tonight. It was basically based on Thursday and Friday. It's given me a 2 day break anyway. But yeah, there's always stuff to do, isn't there, and sort out and think about. But it's time you don't normally get to sort these things out. So it's nice to have that time, so to speak. But just hello to everyone. If you're tuned in, I've got 6 viewers at the moment. You can leave any comments in the chat and we can bring them up during the live as well. So, and if you're new, welcome aboard. But yeah, this week I'm glad I got through. No real dramas really, apart from the weather. And there's not much you can do in the high winds anyway, is there? But I'll move on basically for what we're going to talk about really is give me the ideas anyway for today's live, which is working bank holidays because extra cash is needed. Because of the high winds where I've lost 2 days work, it's near the end of the month for me and I'm not quite over the threshold of getting my target. I know I've got another week to go, but I'd rather have had it in the bag. So I don't really want to lose them 2 days work. And because I've had 2 days off, what I'm going to do is work bank holiday Monday because I need the money. Now, the customers I've got are finding me coming round bank holiday. If they'd rather me not come round because they've got company round, obviously I wouldn't turn up. So we've organised that ahead of time. But why? Why would I want to work on a bank holiday Monday? Well, I lost 2 days. I've had 2 days off anyway. My bank balance says I've got to work. And I know what's coming up round the corner. So for me, for example, my van tyres, they're going to need changing at some point soon. So I've got to build up the pot to cover the cost of that. And also my van had a service last January and I've got to check the mileage and it could be due another service, or at least it's coming anyway. So again, I need money in the bank to cover the cost of that. So I want to make sure I've got it in the pot. So for them reasons, I'm going to work bank holiday Monday. And also, even if I'm going to get through, which I will do through this month, hitting my targets, I still don't know what's going to happen next month with the weather. You never know what's round the corner. So I always like to bank a few extra quid because it saved me in the past where a few things have gone wrong. So basically, that's why I'm going to need to work this Monday. I put it past Matthew and Sophie as well because I said, look, you've got 2 days off. We're going to have to work bank holiday Monday. If I had loads of money in the bank, I'd have said no, just enjoy a very long weekend. So we've got to do it. For me, the Thursday and the Friday just gone that I couldn't work. What I had booked in was gutter clears and fascia soffits and gutters. And they were spread over 2 days. Now, I think there's one, maybe 2 customers where they haven't got back to us. So we haven't got 2 days work. So in effect, I can put them 2 days that we did have into one, which is what we've done. And we made that decision on Friday. And then we've booked them in Monday and obviously spoke to all the customers to make sure they're happy for us to come round and on a bank holiday to do these jobs. So I've kind of got 2 days work pushed into one. So losing them 2 days, I've gained them back by working the bank holiday Monday. Thereabouts, it's just under what I would have lost. Not a lot. I think it's about £100 under the 2 days, so it's not bad. So hopefully the weather will go away as what's forecast and I can get out there and earn this money. And like I said, I've got all these things I know coming up round the corner where my van's definitely going to need service. The tyres are going to need replacing at some point. Plus you just don't know what the future holds really, dear. So I'd rather earn that money and have it in the bank than lose it. So as you see where I am. And it keeps my customers happy because these gutter days, we stack the work up so we can get a full day on the gutters because I swapped my van round. So today I would have washed the van, but in these still high winds here, it's pointless. be like peeing in the wind, wouldn't it? So we've emptied the van and we've put it set up for the gutter clear day and the fascia softeners and gutters we've got. So it's all good to go tomorrow. And these people have been asking for them. We were meant to be doing them Thursday and Friday. They know we can't work in the high weathers, so putting them across to Monday, they're happy. So it's kind of kept, like I said, our commitments, our word with them as well. And then come Tuesday, we're back into the regular schedule of just using Squeegee to organise me window cleaning. Money I'm owed at the moment is not too bad for me. Normally, I say normally, for a while now, it's been around £500 at the end of the month. And that tends to be throughout the month as well, because money comes in, but then you're building up the people that owe you still. So I'm normally owned about 500 quid. Now, if I had all them people who'd paid me, I'd actually be happy enough now to have took Monday off and not work. But I don't want to risk it. It used to be 3 times that amount for me. So I've reduced it down by sending out regular payment reminders. I do them Tuesdays and I do them Thursdays. And I know if I was swapped to go cardless, if I got all my customers on go cardless, that would take all that headache away. You'd only, after 7 days really, haven't you, every day money's coming in. So you'd really be down 1 day wage. So I'm always there anyway, but it'd make my life a lot easier. That's something I'm working on anyway. But it just goes to show money owed when you're relying on it can really hurt you. It does come in, but when you need it, that's where it counts. And then, like I said, I've got the rest of the week. Once I get tomorrow out of the way and the money coming in, because some of these jobs, they're big, what I'd class as big jobs, one-off jobs. And also with these gutter days, you tend to get paid on the day as well, because they're not always your regular window cleaning sort of thing. And the people have agreed to the price. They've got it there. It's ready to come get paid into your bank. So they're good at boosting up your money as well. We've found that. So it's going to be a good boost for me. And with what I've got still coming in through Stripe and Go Cardless, and the rest of the week, I'll be absolutely fine. But like you say, you just don't know what's around the corner, do you? Yeah, like I said, you don't know what the next month's going to be. You don't know how much bad weather you're going to have, any problems with your van. And I like to build up the pot. I like to have a buffer, a safety net, and I haven't got much in there. So I'm trying to. It's getting there. Last month was really good, and I'd like a few more months, good months on the bounce, because, you know, you've got winter coming around the corner, haven't you? And that's going to affect, with the weather, your money coming in. So I want to build up the buffer. So that's why I'm working bank holiday Monday. I don't know if any of you guys do it. When I first started, I was working 6 or 7 days a week quite often. And I worked all bank holidays for my first 4 years. It's only last year and the year before where me and the family said, right, we're not working bank holidays, but it's in extreme cases, we will. And this was, for us, we just felt, one of them anyway, we'd be worse off, I think, if we didn't. So I'm just going to go into the chat now anyway, see what some of these comments are, to see if I'm on the right button. Let me just sort this out. It's a problem, innit? I change it in one scene and it changes them in all scenes. Here we go. I have to master something else. Right, James is saying, hi mate, hope you're well. Here's a quick starter question. Sorry. Are you charging any extra for seasonal customers compared to all year customers? Seasonal customers, I mean April to September. So like your customers that'll only have you during the summer. Not that we have seasons anymore, but the better weather. And then when the weather turns out into winter, they tend to come completely off. To be honest, most of my customers, if not all of them, well, the vast majority of them are regular all year round. I do have some customers, for example, because I give them the option where they could be 4 months, say in the summer, and then they can go 8 weeks when it's the winter months. And I don't mind that, because what I find with me is when it comes to the winter and you've got shorter daylight hours, having a couple less customers on some of your busy days helps you out and getting everything done before it's dark when it's dark by 4. So that's how I do it, but I don't have anyone where it's just, like you say, summer and then nothing at all for the winter. It's a bit hard, that one, isn't it? It's a good question. What does everyone else think? I mean, me thinking maybe do the first clean charge a bit more as you would for a first clean, because the next quick cleans that come after that are going to be your maintenance cleans, aren't they? Maybe do it that way rather than an extra amount for the time that they've got you in the summer, so to speak, from like April to September. But then again, you've also probably got to push to them that when they're not being used over the winter months, that's a slot gone. And if someone you take on in that time and they're going to be all year round, they're going to run the risk perhaps of losing their slot for when they want you. But at the end of the day, they're your customers, aren't they? And you know some of these individuals, and you kind of manage it, I suppose, best you feel. That's more important, really. But I just wonder when I catch down in the comments, or you might see them in the stream, and see how other people would go about that, James, mate. But yeah, I'd probably, like I say, on the first clean, we'll have you charge a bit more, then charge normal maintenance cleans. But like I said, just explain they run the chance of losing their slot if they don't use you over the winter months, for example. I'm sure they'll understand. And if you're not got that many customers, you're obviously going to gladly want to take them back on in the next summer period anyway, aren't you? Adorn Window Cleaning saying the joys of being self-employed. Yeah, it's like when Gary, who's had a chat with me here and there, saying like it's the sacrifices you make, isn't it? You and your family, because if you're working, your family aren't seeing you, are they? And luckily I work with mine. But it's about sacrifices to get you started, isn't it? And as things get better, you try and get that work-life balance. But like you're saying, you know, if you're not earning money, it's not coming in the bank, are you? It's like being sick pay and all this kind of stuff. So you do what you've got to do to make things work, really. That's the way I look at it. Okay, Wade Stewart is saying, hi guys, has anyone else had trouble with the lenses on their sunglasses being damaged by spray whilst working? I've had 2 pairs now that have become damaged, so guess it's the resin. I take it this is whilst working, whilst you're cleaning the windows. Okay, you're getting damage on your sunglasses. I'm not getting that. I don't wear sunglasses. I wear these glasses, but they're tinted. So they're just light sunglasses, but I need them for my eyes. And obviously when it's sunny, I'm going to wear them. And I wear these all the time as well. And no, I get water on them, but I use my cloth to dry them off sometimes when I'm in the van, and they're fine. In fact, it's a good way of keeping my glasses nice and clear. So me personally, I've not had any damage glasses. And I'm guessing perhaps you've got your RODI system, or if it's just a DI system, is in your van, whereas mine's static. So my tank in my van is a delivery system, basically. It's just water. So that could be why it's not happening to me, and maybe to yourself. But yeah, see what anyone else says in the comments if they've had any experience with that. Be interesting to know. I've not really come across that before neither. The window washer. Hi mate, he's saying, hi Rob, working on bank holiday Monday, got to be done sometimes if you need the cash. I always message saying I fully understand if they want to be undisturbed. You get a feeling which customers will be okay. Like you say, you know your customers, don't you? You got that, you know the ones that definitely don't want you to turn up when it's raining and ones that don't mind. So it's playing to your strengths, isn't it? And I guess your customers sometimes are surprised you're working on a bank holiday, but when you tell them, well, the wind we've had last week's cost me 2 days' work, they kind of get it. And I suppose it's not a sob story, but they kind of like feel for you a bit, if you get what I mean. Rather than you've had that time off and can afford to have another 2 days off. Everyone thinks you're swimming in it, don't they? But yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. I'd like to not work bank holidays. And we've, like I said, the last 2 years, we've managed to do that most of the time. But on times like this, I feel like it needs to be done, so I've got to do it. And luckily, the customers don't mind me coming round. You know, people sometimes have plans. So yeah, it's great. And luckily it's a gutter day, so they're jobs that people have been waiting for to come round. So it's probably good that all this high winds happened at that time. Dawn Window Cleaning is saying scrub pad attachment have tried before and they annoyed me. Is that the like the one you can get off gardeners? I've forgotten what it's called now, but it's a little white pad you can put on a scraper, isn't it? A little plastic scraper. Comes in 2 sizes as well, and they just fit your gardener's poles because it's got a little bit of plastic in there that fits in the clamp on the garden poles. Whereas I've tried using one of them on mine, and it won't fit with the clamps I've got on my pole because they're not gardener's ones. Not sure if that's what you're using or obviously another brand. And yeah, I guess it's sometimes when you've cleaning a window, say, and it's one of them windows that have sat in the wall, so the brick is sticking out further than the actual wall itself. And then I guess in the pad, what that's doing is hitting the brick wall. Or I find sometimes when the fascia soffits and gutters are really tight to the window, it keeps hitting on them. So I took mine off in the end as well. Plus, it didn't fit right anyway. Sorry, Dawn Window Clean saying Mark Monroe has a new attachment, looks worth a try. I haven't seen that. I guess it's one of his videos he's put up on Facebook, is it? Or on YouTube? I can't remember where I see them sometimes. I'll have to have a search round. You have to put a link to it or something like that. See if anyone else has seen it. But yeah, it could be worth a try. They do come in handy, don't they? It's one of them things. Probably 90% of the time you don't need it. And if it does your head in a bit, you take it off. But then there'll be that 10% where you need it. Oh, okay. He's saying gardeners or DA components, tried both. So yeah, DA components would be the walnut pad holders, it's called now. Yeah, and that used to stick up a bit as well, didn't it? But you could screw it off to take it off when you don't need it and then put it on when you do. What I do, because I still think it's handy, I've got a trad pole, and then on the trad pole, I've got it so I can fit in the pads. So if I need to use it, I just basically wet the glass, put my pole to one side, and then I get out the trad pole with the attachment on the end, the pad holder, and I use that to scrub stuff off, and then basically go back to using my brush. And I find that's quite handy. As long as it's not like a second story window or above, then you can't reach it. So it's only like first story my trad pole will reach to anyway. But I could always put that, I suppose, if I took my brushes out of my water fed pole. But I like the way I've got it. So that's what I've tended to done just as a compromise. Okay, so you're saying new video, Mark Monroe. Cheers, mate. Got that. I'll have to have a look. It's good looking at all these new things that come in, isn't there? It's worth it. It's just food for thought, isn't it? If it makes your life easier. As Brad's just saying, have I ordered a 35cm brush yet? No, I haven't. Maybe after working the bank holiday. I'm still debating whether to or not. And if I do I go for a gardener's one? I think it was the ultimate brush you guys were mentioning, as opposed to using the X-Line one, because the X-Line brushes are obviously a lot heavier. But then again, I like my X-Line brushes. I love the rinse bar that's inside them as well. If I use an overhead rinse bar, so if I brought a gardener's brush, I'd then want a rinse bar. So I think you can only put an overhead one on there, unless you modify something yourself. But then I find with the overhead ones, the rinse bar is going to be hitting the same problems as what them scrub pad holders can when you're close to fascia soffits and gutters, or get the recessed windows sunken into the brick walls. But it could still be worth getting a 35cm brush. Even if I go for the X-Line one, it's going to be heavier, but even just on the big windows. And it gives me the chance to play around with it on the normal size windows then, doesn't it? It won't go to waste. But it's something I'm toying with. Just got to build the pot up a bit first. But it's got to be a difference. A lot of people said they use them. It quickens them up. And if I got the lighter brushes, I'm thinking about it, the ultimate. Then I suppose give me a chance. Maybe play around with the fan jets. At least with the gardeners one, you can swap the jet capsules around, can't you? I think that's me caught up on the messages there. So yeah, I just wondered if anyone else is working this bank holiday Monday as well. Like with some of you said, you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes, and the joys of being self-employed, isn't it? Which is another thing I've been looking into is insurances. After having a conversation with John, and it got me thinking. So I've got through Simply Business, that's my public liability. So I went on their website and did a quick quote. I didn't go into too much details, but then I realized you can actually do lots of insurances rolled into one through them. So you could have my public liability, my van insurance, my equipment to be insured as well in the back of the van. And then you've got your sick pay, employees pay. I've forgotten what one it is. Luckily, because I work with my family, I don't need that by law because we're family. But if obviously I weren't family members and I was employing someone, I'd have to have certain insurances. But you can get it all rolled into one. And I think when I was looking at it, it was about 77, it was about £700 for the year. So I think it worked out £67 a month. And that'd be your sick pay as well. So not when you lose days work, only for illness, obviously, and depending on what you're covered for, at least it's a bit of peace of mind that way. Because when I had my heart problems, I'm lucky I had my family going out driving and cleaning the windows while I was laying in my bed, waiting to see the cardiologist because it was that bad. And that was like that for about a month. So, yeah, it could have been a different story. But the way I was feeling at the time, I wouldn't have worried about the money. There's more important things, weren't there? But it kind of highlighted that you do need something. So that is something I've been looking into. So I just got another comment coming in from Adorn. He's not working this one, but you've done in the past, making me feel better when I'm working tomorrow. And you also said about the 35, Ultimate 4 Jets blue. Oh, the blue jet capsules, I take it. Right, it's definitely on my mind. I'm going to have to put it on the list. Be worth making a video about as well, wouldn't it? But yeah, so you got to do what you got to do, haven't you? And it's got a day. I've forgotten how many. I think we've got 5 jobs. Like I said, it quite wasn't 2 days because we had a couple not come back. But I'm pretty sure we can squeeze what we've got into one day. And it's going to get me back on an even keel after losing these 2 days. But luckily, it's only this month, really. It'd been them 2 days we lost. So I could probably took the hit. But like I said, you just don't know what's around the corner, dear. And I like to have a buffer. If my buffer was in place, I'd probably risk it and not work bank holiday as well and just had a nice, good weekend. What we did do, incidentally, on Saturday with my family, we got the bus, went into King's Lynn. There's a place called Waterhoot, and they make gin, absolutely lovely gin. We had a few gins up there in their bar, and then just a quick snack somewhere, and then just got the bus back. Live life in the fast lane, but it's not often we get to do things like that, and it's a nice place as well. Another family-run business, so it's really good. And obviously we brought a couple of bottles of gin, me and Teresa one each, so we're ginned up again. Don't know how long that'll last. Right, if there's nothing else to go in there, I'm happy to call it a night because I started a bit late as well. It was a good film. I've forgotten what it's called now. Heart of Stone. It was good anyway. Sit down with the family in it. It's important. My van's all ready for tomorrow. The wind is going to drop down, and it should be, hopefully, the rest of the week all good as well. And then I reckon by Tuesday I'd have in the bank what I need to pay everyone, and anything else I get then goes in the pot. So that'll be a Brucey bonus. Right, if there's nothing else to come in the chat, guys, and you're happy, I'll call it a night. I'll have a look, mate, on the 35cm brush, the ultimate one. Got to give that a try, really, haven't I? And also I'll have a look round and see about David Munro's video with the pad holders. There might be something up there that could come in handy somewhere along the lines. The window washer saying it's nice to work a bank holiday sometimes because for the customers you don't normally see on a weekday, because they're working and stuff like that. Then you get to put a face to a name and see how you work. Yeah, I have found that in the past as well. And some people aren't there on their own as well. So they've got no family coming around or whatever, they're glad you've popped round as well. Cheers to Dawn Cleaning. Thanks, Window Washer, for popping in, and Brad as well. Cheers, mate. And who else we got? Wade, Stuart as well, and James Davis. Was it Davies? I'm sure it's Davis, isn't it? So I had a friend called Stephen Davis, not the snooker player. His surname is spelt the same way. That's what sort of like reminds me. But yeah, all right, and cheers. Thanks so much. Hope you all have a good weekend. Cheers, the Window Washer. And he's just saying have a good one to everyone. And hopefully have a good week now. Now this wind's going to go away. And then hit next month on a good footing. So that's it from me. If I can find the right button. Here we go. Cheers. Thanks for watching. And I'll let you know next week. And hopefully I might have ordered that 35cm brush. Take care.